Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Kohr Racing Network. Welcome to the YESCAR Truck Series. Welcome to the playoffs. We are down into the final 4 races of the season here for the YESCAR Truck Series, and it's time to go playoff racing. The top 10 are locked in, and they will do battle for those top spots here in the playoffs. Certainly the regular season points battle is still heating up, and that will go all the way down to the wire. I believe they have an overall, and I'm kind of checking myself. I know they have one for the regular season, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's just the playoffs here. But either way, we've got 10 drivers locked in and loaded and ready to go. We're at the Michigan International Speedway here tonight for the playoff opener. And this place is beautiful. It is one of my favorite tracks to watch racing. It's one of my favorite tracks to go racing on. It's a big old 2-mile V oval here in Michigan, and it's fantastic. It's put on great racing over the years, owned for a long time by the Penske Corporation before they end up getting taken over by International Speedway Kohr and changed it to the Michigan International Speedway. But I mean, it's been great racing in NASCAR and IndyCar. Just about anything you put on this track, it puts on a great race. Portland, we're joined in the booth by Joe Sullivan. Joe, it's time for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's playoff, man. It's always, I mean, just in NFL terms, you know, the season really starts, you know, when playoffs hits, you know, and if you're fortunate enough to be a fan of one of those teams, or in this situation, one of these drivers, a fan of one of these drivers that are in the playoffs, we got 10 guys out here and vying for that title here for this season, the first season in the YESCAR Truck Series. So I concur there. This is one of my favorite tracks too. More of in the 87 sense and on the legacy side, but I absolutely, probably one of my top combos on iRacing is the 87s at Legacy, Michigan. It's such a blast. There's so much room out here, so many different lines you can run, and then these trucks here tonight is going to be no different. You can run high, you can run low, you can run middle, you can run wherever you want. And still be fast around here, and puts on such good racing. So I'm sure we're in store for a great race here tonight, and what a great track to kick off the playoffs.
And that's really the key word is room. There's plenty of room here at Michigan, plenty of lines that can be run, and it's kind of the well, it was the sister track to Auto Club Speedway before that ended up in real life getting taken away from us to have some more warehouses instead of some sprint racing. But you can blame California for not showing up there for their track and supporting it to get rid of that beautiful track, as that was kind of the same thing, a 2-mile D oval that was just wide. And for these trucks here, it is going to be wide open, and it's going to be some white knuckle racing out here, and a lot of the line for sure. We'll take a look at the playoff standings, as for some reason it's lost on my screen. There we go. Playoff standings, and you notice we got some drivers that are going to start with those bonus points for winning a race. Obviously, Tyler Helzo, 5 wins in the regular season, so he's going to start with a nice lead of 18 points over everybody else. Jonathan Tuckness getting a couple wins. He's going to start there in second. Chris Gutierrez, Francisco Villarreal, David Duke, and Zach Mayhew all grabbing a win as well. So they'll start with 3 points in the first race here. Maxwell Shade, Jeff Byers, Chris Melton, Matthew Hott, all going to start with nothing, and they got the uphill battle to go. But it looks like we're not going to have Jeff Byers here in attendance, and right now I'm not seeing. Actually, we do have Matthew Hott, who did show up here, and is getting in his laps right now. So we got 9 out of the 10 playoff drivers out here tonight. Unfortunately for Byers, he's going to have a huge uphill battle on his hands for the final 3 races, but we got a couple of the playoff drivers here for some interviews, and we'll try and bring them in right now to talk with them. Starting off with, if I can get to them, I keep bringing up everything else, but we'll go ahead and bring in Francisco Villarreal first. And Joe, why don't you go ahead and take Francisco here, the driver of the 24.
Hey, Francisco, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you loud and clear.
Hey, man, just 2 quick questions for you here before we get this playoff started. First question is, you know, able to make the top 10. You got yourself a win. Just looking back at the regular season, how would you kind of put that into perspective and how you did?
Mostly survival would be the best way to describe it, because I had those few races where fuel strategy came into play, the ups and downs. It was definitely a roller coaster, so it was good to come off towards the end of the season with a win. But honestly, it was just about surviving, being there, and being consistent. Overall, just having fun.
Yeah, I mean, there were several races there that you had, a fast truck and had the pace, and just strategy didn't go your way, but you were able to find one win there and get it done and lock yourself into this top 10. And so going to that, what's it going to take for these final 4 races to put that 24 truck at the top of the podium?
To get on the podium, it's going to be about consistency, and I really need to figure out my fuel strategy. Heading into this practice session, that's one thing I was focusing on, is seeing if I could save fuel, how many laps do I need to save fuel, how much can I save, because if it comes down to it, I do not want to have it bite me in the rear end. So it's going to be just a matter of those 2 things, consistency and strategy.
Yeah, just one last thing before we let you go here and get to qualifying. What kind of fuel window are we looking at here? Not to give too much information away, just what kind of window are we looking at here?
When I was driving, it seemed 16 laps, but I stretched it out, but I don't think it's worth it. So it'll be very interesting to see how the draft plays into effect. That's what I'll say regarding that. It'll be close.
Okay. All right. Well, appreciate that information, and congrats on the good regular season there, and locking yourself in, and good luck here in the playoffs here.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Is the driver of the 24 Francisco Villarreal. Well, quickly before qualifying gets underway, we'll bring in the driver of the 47, Chris Gutierrez. We'll grab you real quick here before qualifying starts, and just a couple questions for you. You got one win. You locked yourself into the playoffs kind of early enough, and could just ride around a little bit. We've seen kind of up and down season for you this season, but we can wipe all that away right now. It's playoff racing. What do you think your chances are with these 4 races coming up?
Yeah, I think they line up really well. Michigan's great. I know we'll be great at Homestead. That's one of my favorite tracks. The season overall went really well. I had to miss last week due to some personal stuff, but got the win at Kansas. Probably should have had Martinsville if it wasn't for the blasted shifter breaking. Yeah, I'm still not over that one, especially since Martinsville and official was a disaster last week, but we won't get into that. But yeah, it's been a good season. I definitely think we got a shot at it. We've been pretty consistent, minus the only race where we really just had a horrible night was Atlanta. Missed the pit entry on the first pit stop, and then trying to do a strategy to get back on the lead lap. When I pitted the second time, I got run over. So I've kind of put the word out on everybody is like, I am not going to be happy if you smoke me coming into the pits in the next couple races. So if you smoke me, you're going to get an earful.
Understandably.
So yeah. But it's been fun. And I think overall the league's been really improving as we've gone on and learned how to race with each other. So I think we're going to have a good show. I think this is going to be interesting because it feels like it's going to be like Talladega. But yeah, give it my all and see where we end up. I definitely think we're going to finish. My goal is top 5 in points, and I think that's very achievable. But I mean, if I can get up points, I think I can run with these guys for a championship.
So any different mindset for the championship? I mean, obviously you're probably gonna really try and focus a little bit more and really try and make sure your strategies are nailed down. But any different mindset of just taking what you can get and settling for a top 5 if you're there, or is it just push every race because you need every single point you can get?
I think it just depends on who I'm racing around and like where they're at in relation to me, or like if it's if the guys I'm racing are far behind me and I'm like third, I'm not going to try to win a race and put myself in jeopardy. I mean, I always want to go for the win, but I have done some series seasons now where I know like one race I won a championship last year and I wanted to win Kansas so bad because it was my home race and about 20 to go. I'm trying to run the guy on the wall and I'm like, no, let's just take second. We're going to win the championship. So I mean, I do kind of have that ability to think big picture, but yeah, I don't know. I think I'll go for the win if it's there, and just try not to do anything stupid. That's really the goal.
All right, buddy. Well, before we let you go and get these playoffs underway, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Just thank Dave for putting this on, and you guys for broadcasting, and all of our drivers, and we'll try to put on a good show for you tonight.
All right, buddy. Good luck out there.
Thank you, man.
That is driver of the 47, Chris Gutierrez. Last one we'll bring in. Just want to make sure he is indeed done with his qualifying. That is going to be driver of the 78, Big Duke, the man behind everything here at YESCAR. You did what you needed to do in race number 1. You got yourself a win. You locked yourself into playoffs, and didn't really need to do anything else in regards to the playoffs other than go for some more wins and get some more bonus points. Unfortunately, it ended up being your one and only win there at the season opener at Daytona. But, I mean, you've kind of factored into quite a few races. You've been up there, and he's shown some speed and been up there in the top 5 quite a bit. Just could not break through for another win. So what's going to take here for the playoffs? I mean, how many wins do you feel it's going to take? Do you feel like it's just going to be somebody that's really consistent, grabbing those podiums, grabbing those top 5s? What do you think it's going to be?
Man, I think you're going to have to win. Probably going to say at least half of them, I would imagine. I think with between Tyler, Francisco, Tuck, Tyler, everybody in here. That just constantly we run like scalded dogs. So it's going to be tough.
Joe, what do you got for Big Duke here?
Yeah, so and speaking of tough and close, I mean it's going to be a close battle here tonight with how these trucks are at Michigan. It's drafty, it's multi-groove. I mean trucks are going to be all over the place. Excuse me. What's it going to take to maybe get the like you did at the regular season, start the playoffs here with the win?
Man, there's going to be a little bit of tire, a little bit of saving and some fuel strategy. Looking at my pit board, it looked like we could only go about 13 or so laps. So how you can, I don't know if we get a quick yellow if you decide to pit or not and stretch it out. I think I don't know. It could be some strategy involved, but I hope we go long here and have like a California type race. That was fun. There's a lot of grooves here, like you said. Hopefully we can get to racing here.
Yeah, we asked Francisco what kind of fuel mileage, and he was saying about 16. So.
Okay, well maybe I looked at it different then. Maybe mine wasn't.
I think we had some games being played here, but
Totally not to give too much away, but. Maybe he's
either someone's going long or someone's going short. That's for sure.
Yeah. So and sometimes these races can go green flag and get a lot of laps in. And with only 40 laps here tonight, it looks like it's going to be multiple stops. And getting in and out of pit road is going to be crucial here tonight.
Yeah, this whole series was kind of built on bringing some good talented drivers in with some guys that are relatively new to the service and trying to bring these guys up along and learning them about iRacing and sim racing in general, and is trying to be ambassadors to sim racing. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm really enjoying this YESCAR deal and getting to run with all these guys.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, made that point just a few minutes ago about how, a lot of these guys in this series it's come a long way. I mean, it was kind of a caution fest there the first couple races, but all that got kind of ironed out, and a lot of these races, other than some of the short tracks, but you're going to have that at short tracks.
And we raced Martinsville all week last week, and those top splits had 14 lap green flag runs or green flag totals. So it's hey. Yeah, you can't fault the guys on that.
Trust me, we had that in the Kohr Xfinity series on Tuesday night. We had 14 cautions for a 140 lap race. So it's just Martinsville. I hate Martinsville. Plain and simple.
I feel you.
Yeah, Carl, is that I'm surprised it was even on the schedule, but
it was on the iRacing schedule, so that's why I made the Xfinity schedule. But it won't be anymore. It's going to be a different short track. It's going to be a dirt track, whatever. It's going to be something other than Martinsville. But listen, Big Dick, again, you only have one race that you got to the top spot, but you had a lot of speed all season. So I'm certainly not going to not put any money on you for these playoffs. I think you still got a fighter's chance for sure, but it's going to be tough.
I think I got a chance. I did design the schedule.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, good luck in these
feel
4
good
races.
about the tracks we have coming up. I know that, so we'll see what happens.
Well, and it's certainly it's a good mix of tracks as well. I mean, obviously the full speed here in Michigan, Charlotte next week is something that everybody has got tons of laps on. Indianapolis is kind of I think going to be the curveball in the playoffs here, as that one it can get tricky for some of these drivers, and then obviously
Really like
Homestead's a great finishing track for sure.
I agree. That's that track races so well. So just looking forward to it, man. I appreciate all you guys do, and broadcasting the league and putting on a phenomenal product, man. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, we appreciate the opportunity to do so. So we'll try and do our best to wrap up this season the way it should, and I'm sure you guys out there on the track will do the same. So good luck to you. And before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to?
Keith Powell, KeithSaysYes.com. Anybody needs a new or used car nationwide, doesn't matter where you're at. KeithSaysYes.com. Get you a cool $1,000 off if you mention Big Dig Stream. MVV Travel Co. My wife, she's a travel agent, booking travel all over the world. And you guys at Kohr, GTR, Kohr Crabbing Supplies, just everybody that's helping me. I did get a big announcement the other day. I was contacted by Make-A-Wish International to race in one of their big global fundraising events with F1 drivers. So that was pretty cool. I'm a content creator for Make-A-Wish International now, so that was a pretty good honor.
It was absolutely cool. So congrats on that. And we'll see if you can bring home a title as well, and really kind of cap off this year in the best way possible.
Yes, sir. Thank you, fellas.
All right, buddy. Good luck out there. That is the driver of the driver of the 78. Yeah, I'm looking. I'm like, nope, that's not him right there. Driver of the 78, Big Duke, and yeah, I mean it's great getting out there, winning that first race, and you kind of just let your hair down and you can just kind of cruise on, but it can get you a little complacent sometimes, and you can you get through the race 2, race 3, you don't get another win, and you feel like, okay, well, whatever, I'm already locked in, and sometimes you can just kind of fall back a little bit, but I don't think we've really seen that too much from Dave this year. I think he really put in an effort at every race for sure. It's just there's a lot of times that the strategy didn't fall into play, the caution didn't come into play, or just getting involved in wrecks came into play. So I don't think any of these drivers that have made their way into the playoffs are out of it. I mean, I know we've kind of been a bit top heavy with Tyler Helzel getting 5 wins and even Ituckles being up there getting 2 wins, but I think this is really, I guess, 9 trucks. I can't really say 10 with Jet Byers being out of the race here tonight, but 9 trucks going into it, and I think all of them got a legit chance.
Yeah, and I mean, like, just kind of echo what Duke said there. I mean, the man made the schedule, and I've raced with him enough, and some of these officials and stuff. I believe he's going to be really, really good here tonight, and in these playoff races. He's really good, and he may not have been won more races after Daytona, but he's definitely got enough laps and enough experience to kind of put it together here and make a charge at this, and come away the inaugural winner of the YESCAR Truck Series.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with him that it may end up taking 2 wins out of these 4 to try and get it done, but it may take more than that. I mean, Tyler Helzel has got such a big lead with all those wins in the regular season that he legit can podium his way all the way to the end. If he can get 4 podiums, even if they're not wins, I think if he finishes with 4 straight 3rd places, he can still lock up the championship. He's got that much of a lead here in the series, but that's all attributed to all the hard work that he put in through the regular season, getting those 5 wins. I mean, he put himself in this position to win the championship, so it's where he deserves to be. These drivers are done with qualifying. They're out there and starting to grid up on the track, so let's take a look at qualifying results here for tonight's race. And starting on the pole, we just got done talking about Big Duke with a 39.378. Tyler Helzel in second, only 8 thousandths of a second behind. Francisco Villarreal, 9 thousandths of a second behind. Ituckles, 11 thousandths of a second. You get a little theme here. It's pretty close at the top here. The top 4 all playoff drivers. Again, Ituckles running out 4th. Tyler Bryan in 5th. And then you got Keith Says Yes Jonathan Marsh, Kevin Martin, Charles Abert, and Maxwell Shade for your top 10. Romeo, Cody Brewer, Joshua Delaha, Joshua Laughlin, and Zam Racing, your top 15. And then you got Chris Melton, Austin Smith, Chris Gutierrez, Timothy Wright, and Scott Boyer for the top 20. Rounding out the field, Matthew Hott, Paul Lawson, Michael Funkhauser Jr., Doc Holliday, and James Wagoner. We are getting ready for 40 laps of racing here at Michigan, and it is going to be a good one. It's going to be a treat for sure. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, and do it quickly because we are about to go racing here at MIS. Green flag is in the air.
Man, who started the season off with a win is going to lead us to the green here and into turn 1. See if he can start this playoffs like he did at the regular season.
Good start from the field, but a huge incident already, and that involves one of our playoff drivers. Big impact for Maxwell Shade in turn 2, and looks like Joshua Laughlin getting caught up in that one as well. That was a huge impact. Let's take a look at that one again, see exactly what happened. It looks like he just kind of got in between those seams, got a little loose, and that thing just snapped to the right. And big impact there for the 2. And you see right there is, I believe that is, the 002 of Joshua Laughlin getting involved as well. And that is not the start of the playoff season that the 2 wanted to see, and both Maxwell Shade and Joshua Laughlin had to tow back to the pits. And it looks like Matthew Hott may have also been involved in this somehow. He went off track. He's on the backstretch here. I'm not sure what was going on here. Matthew Hott maybe monitor issues or hardware issues, what the case is. But he did end up coming back on track.
Oh, yeah.
But then
he pitting.
But then he did crash as well.
Man.
He crashed and then jumped into the pits. We'll see what happened right here. And this is under caution. And certainly, it seems to me, Joe, that's some hardware issues here. Something is not working out too well for Hott. He towed it back to the pits. So 2 of our playoff drivers already having some major issues. And of course, Jeff Byers, as we mentioned, not in attendance here tonight. But man, we didn't even get a lap in, and we got all kinds of drama.
Yeah, I mean, they were already starting in the hole, right? With starting at ground 0. And, Tyler having an 18-point lead on him already before we even started this race. So they did not need any kind of, bad finish at all. And now this is just almost certainly taking them out of the championship title here. Still plenty of time to maybe get up into the top 5 or something like that, but man, not the start you wanted here at all. And 3 essentially playoff drivers kind of out of this thing on lap 1 of Michigan, race 1.
Yeah, I mean, right now it looks like Matthew Hott maybe. Now, yeah, I'm trying to figure out where these drivers are. I know Maxwell Shade and Joshua Laughlin looks like they may still be towing back to pit lane, already 2 laps down. Matthew Hott showing a lap down right now. Looks like he's finally into pit lane, but man, what a start to this race here as, I'm not showing Matthew Hott in the session at all, so it must be some major issues for the 17. See Maxwell Shade right there. It looks like he may still be towing back to the pits because I don't see that crew working on the truck at all. And then same thing with Joshua Laughlin, some major damage to both the 2 and the 002. Wow. Very little words to start this thing up. But
welcome to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean that's not a friendly welcome at all, and really it's, you see, it was in no small part it was the 2's fault. I mean he lost it in the middle of the corner, whether it was cold tires, whether it was kind of getting in between those seams, whatever the case was. That thing just started getting a little squirrely, over correction, and it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't really matter what kind of car you're in here. You kind of want to stay away from those, especially that second seam. You kind of want to stay away from it. Usually Michigan, you want to be on that second groove or right underneath that by that bottom seam, depending on the car and the track temperature, which the track temperature started off in the high 80s, but now we're up to 95 already as we are on lap 4 here. So the temperature is rising, which is going to increase the tire temperature and tire wear and make this thing even more slippier.
Well, pace truck lights are out, and we're going to get them back fired off one more time, and hopefully a little bit cleaner for everybody this time by. But that was certainly one heck of a start, and fireworks already here for the playoffs. And unfortunately for some of these playoff drivers, maybe out of it already, and maybe look at their wounds and trying to see what they can do for the final three races. But it looks like they'll be back in the pack. They are joining the pack. They are cleaned up. At least Shade and Laughlin are, looks like, finally getting back in there hot. It looks like to be only one lap down, just rejoining the track right now. Shade and Laughlin are 3 laps down, but we are back to racing here at Michigan. Already drivers going 3 wide, diving around, looking for where to get some grip, which lane is moving faster. And this thing is going to be very, very fast, and once they get to green flag racing, these laps are going to click by very fast. 40 laps is not a long time here around Michigan, and you've seen Duke on the pace laps there, all the way down on the bottom on the apron, maybe trying to save a little bit of fuel. But we got 3 wide for the lead into turn 3, not wasting any time. Francisco Villarreal to the inside, Tyler Helzel to the outside. Big Duke has got some company. It is not just going to be a walk away by anybody, and I don't think either of us thought that was going to be the case anyway, but Francisco Villarreal is going to lead that lap from the outside, and he will clear, just about clear into turn 1, but Big Duke going to fight back again on that inside line. But I like that second line right there by Villarreal, and he is going to have the lead because we've got another incident here in turn number 1.
Cody Brewer. Oh, netcode. It looked like you got a little bit loose. Oh, it's going to take several trucks here.
And one of them being Chris Gutierrez in that 47.
Another playoff driver. Oh, my goodness.
Big impact and monster trucking up and over the zero.
Riding the wall? Was it skateboarding now, or monster trucking to skateboarding? And he's going to land it.
I know they got some bonus points in the series. I don't think freestyle points is one of them. We may have to talk to Big Duke about that and see if he can institute something there. But, oh, man, that was a major bad ride there for the 47. We'll take a look at it one more time and try and see it from Jonathan Marsh and see exactly what happened here. As it looked like the 47 shot to the middle. And yeah, major net code.
Major, yeah.
And this is bad enough looking at the outside of the track, but even worse when you're looking at another truck driving up over you.
And then a truck staring right at you. Yeah, that's
it's funny for us.
From Jonathan Marsh.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. I mean, might as well take a look at it one more time while we got some time and hop on board with the 47 of Chris Gutierrez.
Yeah, we got to see
got to go along for the ride here, a little monster truck action. It's not often we see a truck just literally drive up and over another truck. Oof. And wow, heck of a ride. And I mean, there's all kinds of different realism that you can get here when it comes to sim racing. When it comes to to butt kickers that rumble the seat for you. There's motion rigs. I don't think I'd want to be in a motion rig or a VR with that little ride right there that Chris Gutierrez took.
Absolutely not. That's one of those situations where I'm glad I don't have that. I do. When I first got into iRacing, I kind of did play around with the VR, but I can only do like 2 races, and it just kind of made me sick. So I kind of steered away from it.
I was the same way.
Yeah. I've heard if you have a fan blowing in your face, it kind of helps, but that was long after I found that out and kind of gave up VR. Yeah, It is a blast though. Like racing in the VR with the VR headset is truly amazing. It puts you in the seat and in that world. And if you haven't been able to try it, just try it once, and I tell you, it'll change you. I couldn't do it long term, but I kind of wish every once in a while I could go back and do it just to kind of get that feeling again. But yeah, it's wild. But speaking of wild, we have some varying strategies going on right now.
Yeah, we had quite a lot of drivers come into the pits on that round right there, including a lot of our leaders. So it's going to mix up the field. It's going to give Tyler Helzel the lead here. And yeah, I mean, I did dabble with the VR myself for a while. I had the Oculus, and it's kind of one of those things where I feel like it's split. You know, you ask VR guys and you ask triple screen guys, you know, which better. And they each kind of have their own thing. And although I did get rid of my Oculus, I did get rid of the VR. I got used to it after a while, and you know, you do have to kind of wean yourself onto it. I mean, the first time I tried it out, I was good for like maybe 15 minutes before I had to put it down and, you know, get rid of the spins, essentially. And then next time I could go a little bit longer, and I actually got to the point where I did one or two endurance races with it, and you know, I'd be in the car for you know 2 hours worth on VR. You want to talk about the VR sweat? It's real. It's real after being in the car for that long. I mean, the best experience for VR, I think, in my opinion, was Dirt Oval. I think Dirt Oval, you really get a good idea, and seeing the dirt, like it literally feel like it's flying at your face, is cool. I mean, there's not much better than that. But with all that being said, I'm more than happy with the triples that I have right now, and it doesn't mean I don't still sweat. I still got a fan blowing on me right now, even during the broadcast. But the VR sweats are definitely a different level for sure. But we are going to get ready to go back racing here, and we're going to start lap number 10 already. So we're just about a quarter of the way through this race already, even though we had a couple cautions. It's going to be Tyler Helzel at the front, Tyler Bryan on the outside, Kevin Martin, Tuckles for the top four, as we will go back to racing
green flag
at Michigan. And good start from the inside there from both Helzel and from Kevin Martin, as it looks like both of them clear.
Yeah, Duke was up there in the front there, and he came down and elected to get some fuel. So we'll see how that strategy works out. You know, we've seen that a couple times this season, and from him as well, to, you know, come down and try to get off strategy, and sometimes it doesn't work out. You know, you get back in this traffic, and you know, you get collecting in other people's mistakes and happening. So we'll see if that's going to transpire here, because by my calculation, I think he can make it on 2 stops now. If you know, 16 was you know, right. I'm surprised more people didn't come down pit road, but maybe they've been fuel saving enough already. And speaking of the 47, it looked like he took his fast repair there. You know, that's kind of puts you in a bad spot there. I mean, really early to take your fast repair, and now you kind of have to be a little bit conservative and not really put your hand in 2 cookie jars, you know, and kind of get it snapped off. So
say that even though he's all over the backside of Big Duke right there. Yeah, I mean, he was kind of screwed either way. He had to take it. There's too much damage on the 47 to keep up with the pack. But yeah, it puts you in a bad spot knowing that you don't have something to fall back on. If you get into another incident, it could be the end of your night for sure. So you want to be aggressive. You want to get towards the front and get out of this calamity, because you see, you know, what's going on in front of him. We'll hop on board here, looking at the back of Big Duke as these guys are trying to work their way up through the field. But we've got another caution, and you see,
Tyler Bryan,
you can't see out of the front of that once you're right behind another truck. But we're going to have another caution here. We'll take a look at, looks like Tyler Bryan, maybe Paul Lawson getting involved in this one. And already starting right there. So we'll bring it back and see what caused this one.
Keith Powell gets up into the wall, tries to get it off the wall, and comes down, and there's the 12, Tyler Bryan, gets into his right rear. And around he goes. So I got too much damage to the 304. Heavy damage.
major impacts there. Take a look at that one more time from the 31. And you see really, it looks like you have a lot of time, but you know, right here is where he finally sees the truck. And you're kind of wondering where that truck is going to go, and unfortunately didn't go anywhere except directly into his front end, as Lawson had to tow back to pit lane. We'll see. This is, oh yeah, right here is the 13. He goes through the first wall and collects the second wall there, but not like too much damage, all things considered. Actually, maybe the most damage is when he spun around right there and caught the back end, as he will get back going here. But it's going to bring us under another caution here. And the one thing that is good for these cautions is Maxwell Shade able to get one of his laps back. He is lucky dog. Now only one lap down. So, you know, caught up in that first wreck where he had to tow back to pit lane after the truck just absolutely snapped on him. Now he's only one lap down and still in that lucky dog spot. We do see both Big Duke and Chris Gutierrez now at the front. They decide to stay out on this round of pit stops. Everybody else coming into the pits.
Yeah, it looks like we're on board here with Chris, and he's cutting this engine and trying to save fuel right now. He knows how it's probably close right now, so same with Duke here, and he's on the inside doing his best Kevin Foster.
Absolutely. I want to thank everybody that's tuning in here tonight. Like I said before, if you haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that's here and has to offer us. We've got the doubleheader tonight with CSRL that's already ended, the GT3 series for them, and tonight right here we have the YESCAR Truck Series playoff opener here at Michigan. Tuesday nights we have the Kohr Xfinity series and the UCRL Gen 4 throwback series, and then on Thursday nights we have the Kohr GT series, and we should have some more racing coming up for 2025. Already got some leagues slated in to make their comeback, and some more of these that we already covered right now that are going to be ending this season and starting up their new seasons. And I mean, just like you guys watching it, they love the broadcast that we put on. We love to put them on, so we keep those relationships going, and it's been great. It's been fun. Joe, I know it's been a little bit different for you getting up here in the booth, and you know, just while we're under caution here, you know, talk to me a little bit about that. I mean, me and Jimmy have experienced it now for a couple of years, how different it is being up here in the booth watching these races.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole new perspective. I mean, you kind of get to take it all in and analyze it. And I know for me, you know, the race before this, the road race and stuff, I didn't have a whole lot of experience in that, and not only has that helped me with, you know, racing road and learning all that, but also just like learning more of the road stuff, and you know, expanding my knowledge with racing. And like, you know, everyone's kind of told me you get better at road, you're gonna get, you know, tenfold better at oval. You know, just get in car control, and it's, you know, it's true. Like it expands your ability, and it definitely transfers over to the oval stuff. And I've definitely seen that, and I'm getting better at the road stuff, and I've definitely had a blast up here in the booth. It's definitely, if you are thinking about it, do it. Like, I have no regrets at all. It's a blast.
We're gonna send these drivers off one more time under green. 26 laps to go already. We're already getting close to that halfway point. Green flag waving one more time. We are racing again at Michigan. Good start again from the inside as Big Duke trying to hold off Tyler Helzel and Chris Gutierrez on that second row. The top four made up of your playoff drivers.
For a lot of us were, you know, in racing, doing it actually in the car or truck, whatever, we were a fan of racing, right? I mean, I've been a fan of racing for a very, very long time, as long as I can remember. And just to be able to be the one talking about the races is a pretty cool experience.
Well, and you get to see drivers running different lines. You get to see what they do, how they do it differently from you, and you learn a lot. You know, you get to see everything happen in a race. Obviously, when you're in the vehicle, as we see a 3-car battle for the lead, Tuckles shoots the gap, and the 94 to the lead. Big power move there from Jonathan Tuckness to get to the lead. Tyler Hells is going to get a run out of the corner. But as I was saying, you get to see that the entire race develop from basically every perspective. I mean, you can see the entire race. You see guys running different strategies, what works, what doesn't, what lines are good for the long run, short run, and it gives you so much knowledge for when you do get back in the vehicle to utilize.
Yeah, it just gives you a whole new perspective and appreciation of it all. And the other thing that I really, really like is to be able to, like, we do our post-race interviews, you know, the podium and stuff like that, and able to ask these guys questions. You know, you get some of these series, you get these guys who are up the podium a lot, you know, like the 18 who's ripping himself to the lead right now. And, you know, the race before us, you know, Craig Jantic, I mean, just able to pick their brains and ask them the questions and asking the right questions, right, too. I mean, just to expound your knowledge. Because if you ain't learning, you ain't getting faster.
No, and if you're not running with faster guys, you're not going to get any faster either. I mean, is it fun getting in the league and going out there and dominating and not really having any competition? Yeah, for maybe a season. But then you're not expanding on your race knowledge and you're trying to figure out how to get faster. You're already fast enough to beat everybody in the league that you're running in. So you don't really need to push the envelope at all. You need to get out here, and there's plenty of really fast drivers here in the YESCAR Truck Series. We see it over in some other series as well, as we've got another caution. Look like possibly Funkhauser Jr. getting into Charles Abert. Take a look at that one more time, as that's going to take us to our halfway point as well.
And right on the cusp of the fuel window. Looks like another situation of
maybe a little bit of net code there, but then right there is where the bump ended up happening. Funkhauser getting in the back of the 07 and taking Abert around for a ride. It doesn't look like anybody else got into him, at least.
Ooh, good job of holding the brakes there, and everybody, yeah, good job.
Very close.
Good job of everybody there, yeah.
Very close at the end of that thing, but nothing too bad on this one.
Looks like the spoiler's good there. A little bit of back bumper panel issue. It's getting pit road gonna be busy here, Carl? What do you think?
Well, yes. Yes, it apparently is. I didn't expect it to be, because we are outside the kind of one pit stop to go situation here. But in the same case,
a caution
gets you to the end. Or if it doesn't, if it goes green from here, your splash and dash is going to be a lot shorter than other drivers.
Yeah, and so, man,
top 8 electing to stay out here. Tyler Helzel, Matthew Hott, 2 playoff drivers a part of that, and Matthew Hott, as you can see, back on the lead lap, up to 6th. Also on the lead lap, number 2 at Maxwell Shade. So all 9 of our playoff drivers that were here tonight, actually, all 9 of them are back on the lead lap. So we got 22 drivers back on the lead lap. Looks like Laughlin and Lawson are the ones that are 2 laps down. Doc Holliday not starting at the race here tonight. So we've got a race back on our hands now. A couple of them, obviously Maxwell Shade already taking his fast repair. Chris Gutierrez already taking his fast repair. So they may be driving maybe a little bit more cautious, a little bit more sensible compared to some of these others that can really drive a little bit more aggressive. But I'm really surprised that 8 drivers decided to stay out right there. I thought this would have been a time for everybody to come in here. Even if you're just getting fuel, like I said, it gives you a chance to take less fuel on that next pit stop, whenever that is, because from here, you're probably going to need 1 more pit stop. Even if you get a caution, maybe you get 2 more cautions, and that'll be enough to make it to the end. But if you get even 1 more caution, I think you're going to see those other 8 coming to the pits, and then they'll be good to go to the end.
Yeah, and then you got to throw in the potential green-white checkers if we do get a caution late in this race. So, I mean, I know Francisco was talking about 16 to maybe 20 laps on a run, but you'd have to really back off the pace. But right now, I think if you're, you know, you could do that, right? You could afford that luxury to kind of back off the pace with maybe some of these other guys, especially the top, was it 8 that stayed out here? I mean, they definitely got a pit again. So what we like to see up here is some drama. And that's the other thing, that's the other, good thing, cool thing about being up here in the Broncos is you don't get that part of it, right? We just get a comment on it. And,
you don't have to deal with it, is what you're saying.
Yes. It's less stressful up here.
A lot of times we get to create it. There's a lot of different strategies that can still play out in this thing. We're just halfway through this race, 19 laps to go. It is Tyler Helzel, Kevin Martin, Michael Funkhauser Jr., Timothy Wright, Matthew Hodds for your top 5, then Riley Romeo, Jonathan Marsh, Tyler Bryan, Chris Gutierrez, and Austin Smith for the top 10. But the top 8 are the ones that stayed out on this screen, at least this yellow flag here. And they're the ones that are going to have a long way to go to the end of this thing. I still don't think the guys that came in are going to go on fuel. I think everybody's going to need a pit stop. But we've got a long way to go yet. So it's going to go by quick if they get green. It's still quite a long way and a lot to think about here. As the base truck is off, it's in the hands of Tyler Helzel.
Green flag, green
He is
flag.
back on the loud pedal and racing again at Michigan. Good start from our top 3. As Helzel, Martin, and Funkhauser trying to break away just a little bit here. Right there in 4th. Timothy Wright going to fall in line. And then from there, it's going to start the battle right against Matthew Hodds. Whatever issues he had at the beginning of this race, he's got them fixed. And he's got that thing up to 3rd place right now.
Yeah, they're long gone, and he's got this thing back up here in contention tonight. I mean, if you asked him if he'd be running 3rd and 4th right now after having it parked on lap 1 and bidden, he probably wouldn't believe you. But here he is, and take advantage of it.
2, 3 wide, battling all the way through the field, except for at the front, as it is Helzel and Kevin Martin trying to stretch this thing out and make it a 2-horse race for the time being. You see from 3rd on back, it is just, it's no holds barred. It is every man for himself right now, and a big push up out of the corner, almost getting into Funkhauser Jr. is the 17, Matthew Hott. He's going to fall back in line into 4th place. Take a look back at some of your other playoff drivers. Chris Gutierrez on the outside, making that 2nd line work. Try and get around Riley Romeo. This is the battle for 6th.
It's a lot faster when it's on the track and not on the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looked fun. He got some style points for sure. I'm sure the French and Russian judges are going to stump him a little bit, but other than that, he did a pretty good job out there of riding that wall. But doing a good job making him up through the field as well. Battling now for 5th place with the 20 of Timothy Wright.
The yellow flag is out.
We are going to have another yellow flag.
Tyler Bryan again.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll take a look back and see what exactly happened with this one.
Didn't show up as a crash. What if he just spun it down to the inside there? Hopefully he kept it off the wall, because I don't think he's probably got a faster pair left. Oh! Another 3 wide situation. He does get it into the wall, front and rear.
Definitely crinkled up the rear a little bit from what I see there.
He has got a little left rear damage there. Four-wheeler looks crinkled, just a fuzz. Tires are angry.
It's going to bring us under another caution, and keep your eyes on that front 8 and see how many, if not all of them, will come into the pits. And now Joe?
Now we're in it?
Now we're getting close. I don't know if we're officially in it just yet. I mean, 15 laps to go. We heard 16, but we also heard 13. So, what is the true number? What is the true distance that they can go on fuel? And Tyler Helzel out there for quite a bit. Wonder what was going on. Top 8 into the pits, but they're joined by everybody else. Looks like our fuel man Francisco Villarreal looks like he's got his mindset on maybe yet another fuel strategy race.
Yeah, I mean, it's he called it there, right? He said 16 to 20. So he came down on lap 20. Let's see, what was that? Lap 20. There you go. We'll see if he's going to be right here. I mean, it's still, you know, he's going to be racing really hard now too. So right, I mean, and being the truck out front, nobody to draft right away unless he can, you know, get in behind somebody. But then you're kind of giving up the lead, which would be, you know, defeat the purpose. So maybe he knows something that these other guys don't. But I mean, at the top 8 definitely had to pit. Maybe some of these other guys wanted to come down and, you know, get a fresh set of tires to make it to the end here, and enough fuel in case there is, you know, 1, 2, or 3 green, white checkers.
Well, we got the second half of the race here, and we certainly got some drama. We got the playoff drivers all over the place through this race. We had Maxwell Shade get involved in the lap 1 incident. We got all the way back 2 laps down. He's back on the lead lap right now, and still back in 19th. Tuckles buried back in the pack in 18th currently right now. Big Duke in 15th. Chris Gutierrez, ZM Racing, and Matthew Hott are 11th, 10th, and 9th. And then our top 3 right now are the playoff drivers, Villarreal, Melton, and Helzel. And really haven't talked about Melton at all so far in this race here tonight. Started back in 16th position, and now finds himself into second. And really it seems like one of those races where you have to be in the right spot at the right time. And right now, that 52 is up on that front row. I think it's where he wants to be.
Yeah, that's another great thing about Michigan, right? Is the ability to have some kind of strategy. It's not just a track where it just eats your tires, and you got to, you know, every opportunity you got to come down pit road, you got to come down and get tires, or really worry about. I mean, you got to worry about a little bit of tire management while the race is going, but. There's a little bit of wiggle room there too, right? I mean, so there's just so many different strategies with the fuel too, and track position. You know, these guys have talked about clean air being really important. So the 24's got it now, but it seems like some of these guys are being able to get some runs with the draft and pushing each other. So we'll see. We'll see if the 24 is going to have enough fuel to make it to the end here, and he's got a pretty fast truck right behind him.
A lot of fast trucks behind him, but especially the most wins on the season for the 18. And this is going to be a bit of a stretch, but we've seen Francisco Villarreal do this thing more often than not, trying to stretch this fuel out. And he's been credited with 1 win, and he's gotten close to 1 or 2 others as well, just falling short in a couple of them.
He could have 3. He could potentially have 3 on the season.
Exactly.
It fell, yeah.
He is the guy looking for the fuel strategy at all times. And he's got the lead right now. Chris Melton on the outside. Helzel and Wagoner, your top 4 as base truck is off, and we are racing again at Michigan. 12 laps to go in the playoff opener.
Good restart here from the inside line, and there goes the 18.
Directly to the outside right away. Helzel looking for the lead. We'll see how much Villarreal wants to fight him, or how much he wants to try and save a little bit of fuel in his first couple laps. Maybe just kind of falling behind. But we see Helzel and Martin working together quite a bit in this race. Not sure if they're teammates or not. If they're not, maybe they need to talk to each other, because they've been working pretty well here together. Back to the lead, first and second, Helzel and Martin. And now here comes Chris Melton to the outside of Villarreal. And Villarreal is going to go from 1st to 4th on the first restart lap. 11 to go.
I'll tell you what, all these playoff drivers, that's the one truck they don't want to see at the front, right? I mean, he's already got a big enough lead. If he can find a way to get a win here, I mean, that's just putting...
The yellow flag is out.
We got a caution. We got here
the call.
Ooh, heavy damage.
Oh, some major
neck code and Tuckles
again. 11 of Delaha getting wiped out. Looks like Tuckles may have snuck through that thing one way or another.
So did the 12. Looked like he got a little bit of a side damage there, but he's able to drive through it. This is exactly what Francisco needed.
Yeah, I'm sure Villarreal does not mind this at all, and this may be enough right now to put him inside that window that he can just go out and not have to worry about saving any fuel after this caution. So we'll see what he's got, if he's got anything for the 18 or the 8, and be real interesting if Martin has got something for the 18 and maybe plays a bit of a spoiler here and takes a win away from Helzel. But certainly, like you said, they don't want to see, these other playoff drivers don't want to see the 18 out front. Whether he wins or not, if he beats the rest of them, it just extends that points lead even more, and it's you know, it's already coming in here, 12 points in the lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's already an uphill battle, and then you kind of fall down the hill even more, right? I mean, and it's going to make it that much. Oh, he's going to come down pit road here. He's not going to have enough to make it.
Very, very interesting, and we heard he was going to be close maybe on fuel, but I think he's playing the safer bet here, and just going to make sure he does have enough fuel, and maybe going to come in and take some tires here too, and see if he can make a charge back up through the field. But it's going to be Tyler Helzel at the front, Kevin Martin, Chris Melton, James Wagoner, Matthew Hott for the top 5, Funkhauser Jr., Gutierrez, Romeo, Smith, Aberts for your top 10.
Oh, and we got the 94 down pit road too. He must have a little bit of damage to either come and get fixed. He's already off pit road, so
just a little splash and dash maybe for the 94.
A real splash. A second and a half pit time.
You just coming in.
Just need a bottle of water.
You just need a high five. He's like, you got this. I believe in you. That's it. So first race of the playoffs, Joe. What are your thoughts here with the final 10 laps left in this race?
Well, just I mean, these guys got to find a way to get this 18 out of this, top spot. I mean, he's already been, he dominated the regular season. If this guy can come away and then get race 1 of the playoffs, I mean, not to say it's going to crush everybody's dreams. It's still probably mathematically doable, but man, it would take just the tear that he's on right now, right? I mean, just won last week and put a heck of a stamp on the regular season, and come in here and kick the door down on round 1 of the playoffs. Just a dominating season so far, and I know he wants to get it done here and start this thing off right, and then kind of do that and put the pressure on everybody else. You put the pressure on everybody else, and then some people can handle it, some people can't. And when you're in that position, you can kind of do that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some points to play with, and it probably gives him a little bit more confidence to just go a little bit harder and really go after it and really try and put a stamp on the start of these playoffs, and he's looking to do so. He's at the front. He's got Kevin Martin on his outside. Chris Melton, another playoff driver behind him, would certainly like to get himself some points. I mean, right now, obviously, the playoff drivers that didn't have a win in the regular season don't have anything coming in here tonight. So Melton would love to jump out here and grab the most points available for the first race out here. But we're going to get this restart going here, and once we do, it's going to be down to 7 laps to go. This thing is getting down to the end already. We still got 21 cars on the lead lap. 21st out of all of them is Tuckles, and a big surprise to see the 94 that far back this late in the race. We'll see what he's got, if he's got a way to charge up through the field or not. Pace truck is going to be pulling off. It's going to be in control by that 18 of Helzel.
They also can't forget about that
green flag.
5 bonus points for the 0x too. So I mean, that's crucial. That's huge. I mean, Melton and Hott have a real opportunity here to start. Oh, turn!
Caution, yellow flag.
That is right in the middle of the field. The 94 getting involved, the 0 involved, and that's about half the field involved right there. The 12 involved as well.
More trouble for these playoff drivers. I didn't see, was the 24 involved as well? I didn't see.
Try and take a look, and
we got a missed shift here.
It's going to backs up that outside line.
Oh, the 24 looks like he got back into the back of the 12.
13 getting
He's
involved.
able-
24 takes through the grass. I don't think that'll be a pit road penalty because it was past the cone, so he should be okay penalty-wise. Take a look at the front of his truck, and it looks like everything is nice and clean right there. For Ituckles, certainly scraped up there a little bit.
Left rear and right side damage. That's going to be a little bit of aero. Oh, yeah, the right side's wrinkled in. He's got some aero issues.
So major incident here in the winning laps, and that's what can happen when you get stuck towards the back of the pack. I mean, that was, you don't often see a big one here at Michigan, but on these restarts here, if it happens quickly, that's what can happen quickly. I mean, plain and simple, as we've seen a bunch of trucks get involved in this one, and it's going to bring us under what hopefully will be our last caution, but we're down to 5 laps to go at this point. We're not yet at the green-white checkered, but that would certainly put a bit of a wrinkle into the situation here. Most of these drivers, last time they came into the pits, the top 12, all pit on lap number 26. So they'd be looking at 14 laps of running out here. Granted, a lot of it has been under yellow, but you wonder what that pit window is and how much more they have, and if this thing goes, like you said, into some overtime, do they have enough?
Yeah, like I said, a real good opportunity here for the 52 and the 17. I mean, just to get this round one started off good. I mean, not that they're going to gain much on the 18, but they came in here with 0 points, so they're going to have a good opportunity here to, because like it's still the same points standings, right? I mean, it's 1 through 10 gets points, and that's it. And right now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 playoff drivers outside the top 10. So they will, at this moment, have no points to show for this race. And that's going to be huge for these guys that are in the top 10. There's more, battles for, other than, the playoff champion, there's still, prizes given out for the, I think, top 5. So a lot still on the line here. It's like the 94 still got some damage to that left rear. But I'm sure he's going to still find a way try to find his way up to the front and try to salvage something out of here tonight. But yeah, I'm kind of, I'm slightly surprised it's gotten kind of messy here tonight, but I understand it, it's round 1 of the playoffs. There's a lot on the line. It's a fast track, and to your point in the previous race, we come to a track and a truck car combo that is, hit quite a bit. It's on probably almost everybody's schedule, every league schedule in this truck. So, a lot of guys have a lot of laps around here, and it's a real fast track, but a lot of guys have a lot of confidence, and like you said, it's those races that can get kind of messy. But these guys are going to get this going, and hopefully we can finish this thing out in the green.
It is going to be 3 laps to go on this restart. The pace truck lights are out. Tyler Helsel, Chris Melton on the front row. Kevin Martin, Matthew Hott, James Wagoner rounding out your top 5. And you got Gutierrez, Funkhauser, Smith, Romeo, and Big Duke for the top 10. It's really still anyone's game, but does anyone have anything for this 18 is the question right now. Melton going to start on his outside, but I almost feel like that's a bad thing. I probably feel like he'd be better off starting in third, try and break up the tandem of the 18 and the 8 so far, as Kevin Martin has been glued to the back of that 18 for most of this race. Either way, we're going to get this thing fired off one more time. Hopefully the restart is a little bit cleaner this time. We get the green flag all the way to the end of this thing. Base truck is off. It's once again in control by the 18. Does he have a 6th win on the season here tonight, or is it somebody else? As we are racing again here at Michigan.
Well, I'm going to be watching this outside line. Those are 3 playoff drivers right there. Well, Gutierrez on the inside there.
There were, but now it's 3 wide. Bit of bumping.
Well, I thought maybe they would try to work together and try to overtake this 18 here tonight, but the 47 said, nah, I'm just going to get around both of you and try to get up here in the 3rd myself. But here comes the 52 and 17. They're maybe going to get run down the backstretch.
Working together a bit, the 47 to the inside here. Battle for second place with Kevin Martin. Going to be 2 laps to go here at the line. And here comes Big Duke as well, your pole sitter. Trying to get back up here in the mix. Helzel trying to block every line possible out there. And everyone trying to look for which line is the best, and it's really, really close, tight racing. The 47 now dives to the inside once again of the 69, which is the 8 on the scoring and timing. But this is going to allow Helzel to stretch out here a little bit before they reel him in. The draft is very, very potent here tonight at Michigan. And the 47 going to clear into second. White flag is going to be in the air this time by. Last lap for the playoff opener here at Michigan. 5 trucks under a blanket. To the inside goes the 47 of Gutierrez.
Did he go too early? Did he make his move too early? He's got...
And Helzel getting spun.
Gutierrez is cleared.
Big Duke is the one that's going to come out in second. Melton right there in third.
Helzel all the way out of the top 20. Huge finish here.
Helzel finally getting it collected, but at the front coming out of the last corner, it is the 47. He said he feels he's got a shot. He's got a damn good shot right now. Your winner here in the playoff opener. Battle for second place is going to go to Big Duke. Chris Melton in third. Francisco Villarreal in fourth. I mean, we got the top 6, 5 of the playoff drivers as Gutierrez, Big Duke, Chris Melton, Villarreal for the top 4. Austin Smith comes in there in 5th, and then Maxwell Shade. What a comeback for the 2, and this could be, I mean, something. I know Gutierrez won this thing, but man, that 2 was way out of this thing. He was 3 laps down, Joe. 3 laps down early in this race, and it's not a long race. Only 40 laps here tonight. He was able to make up 3 laps and come home just outside the top 5. What a drive back for the 2. That could be, you know, something that keeps him right in the mix of these playoffs. The 18 is not going to be getting any points here tonight for finishing in the top 10. He finished way back there in 19th. What a finish to this thing. We got to take a look at that one more time, and
yeah, we got to go back and see what happened to
watch it from the
there.
white flag.
Yeah, unbelievable finish. The 47 coming in here, just a 1 lap, everything gone for the 18. I mean,
right there is the
hold in this race.
The 17 tries to give a little bump to help him out on the outside, and unfortunately, that bump ends up turning him somehow.
Costing him and the 18.
Hot seems to get away from it, but he gets stuck on the wall to finish in 15th. And you see right there, I'm sorry, that was actually Timothy Wright and Michael Funkhauser Jr. Tuckles was able to come back and finish in 12th. But you see the 18. Not exactly the finish he had in mind. He was looking at possibly starting off the playoff season the way he finished the regular season, with wins and wins and wins, but not to be had here tonight. And it's a good thing he had a nice little buffer to start this thing, because this is almost a essentially a drop race for him.
Yeah. Oh, man, just wow. So much has transpired in this last lap. I mean, just an unbelievable shift in the entire outcome of this race and this playoff. I mean, what a way to start it. What a great finish. What a good way to, kind of put the rest of that race aside. And I know the 17 didn't want to do that and turn the 18, but he's just trying to give him a good old push there and get that outside rolling. Man.
Well, your final results are going to look like this. Chris Gutierrez, your winner. Big Duke. Chris Melton for your top 3. Francisco Villarreal. Austin Smith for your top 5. Maxwell Shade. James Wagoner. Riley Romeo. Kevin Martin. And Keith says yes. Good job by Keith Powell there, grabbing a top 10 on the playoff opener. Wright, Tuckles, Abert, Delaha, and hot. Going to round out your top 15. And rounding out the rest of the field is going to be Tyler Bryan, Scott Boyer, Michael Funkhauser Jr., Tyler Helzel, Cody Brewer, Jonathan Marsh, ZM Racing, Paul Lawson, Joshua Laughlin, and Zach Holliday not getting the start tonight. So 24 cars officially scheduled in this race. Wow. I mean, we've seen quite a lot in this race, and we were worried about pit strategies, worried about fuel. But it looked like the 18 was still going to play in the mix one way or another. That was not the case. Man, what a finish to this thing. We got our top 3 ready for their interviews, and I don't think we need to waste any more time. We had plenty of drama in this thing. Let's go ahead and start bringing in our top 3 and kind of get a just an idea of what was going on in their heads to finish this thing out. As we'll go ahead and bring in our 3rd place finisher here tonight, the 52 of Chris Melton. And Chris, you were kind of off of our radar in the beginning of this race. For the first half of the race, didn't really see you too much. You started back there in 16th position, but all of a sudden, towards the end of this race, you're restarting right there exactly where you wanted to be on the front row. And this definitely seemed like a race where it wasn't just going to be built on speed. It wasn't going to be necessarily on strategy. You just needed to be in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, that's absolutely what it was. I went in and took fuel only at the right time and got track position. And with all the cautions we were having, I just never lost it and stayed up at last half of the race. I stayed up front. So I'm sure there's not really a straight answer for this, but how stressful was it on those last couple laps? You're obviously one of the playoff drivers and trying to get every point possible here tonight. Obviously would have loved to start off here with a win, but either way, a podium is got to feel pretty nice after this thing. But man, those last couple laps, you could have threw a blanket over the top 5. Yeah, I figured there was going to be some guys behind that had a little fresher tires and they would be coming, but I didn't expect like 1st through 3rd to wreck themselves out on the last lap. So yeah, it was a little stressful.
So, I mean, you know, at the end of the day here, again, you come home with a 3rd place. I know there was plenty of incidents going on here tonight, plenty of cautions that worked out here. Are you happy with the top 3? I mean, clearly qualifying wasn't too kind to you. So, I mean, coming from 16th to finish in 3rd's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it was a lot better than I expected. I mean, I knew it was going to be okay in a race. I figured we'd get, a lot of green, but with it stop and go as we did, I figured it was going to be tough to get to the top 10, so I had to play a strategy move. So, yeah, I'm really happy with 3rd. I can't complain at all.
All right, well, congrats on your podium here to start off the playoff season. Before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout-out to or thanks to?
Thanks for Big Duke for putting this on. It's a great league. You guys do an awesome broadcast. I thank my team, Wagner's Welding, and my teammate Doug, and looking for more in the next race.
Absolutely, buddy. Congrats. Take some time to celebrate this one. We'll see you next week at Charlotte.
Thank you.
That was the 52 of Chris Melton, 3rd place finish here tonight. 2nd place, Joe. We talked to him before the race. We're going to talk to him again. It is going to be Big Duke.
Put a neck up. Sorry.
Hey there, Duke, man. What a finish there.
Woo, boy, was it.
How were you able to kind of avoid that and bring it home 2nd here?
Man, there's a story about a blonde squirrel and a nut I'd love to share with you. I don't know, man. We just we had great momentum there on that last restart. We started in 9th and had great momentum all through that last little bit, and then dodged everything that was up high. And man, I thought we were going to get a draft from Chris going down the backstretch and catch him there at the end, but it wasn't to be. But a great finish. Hey, we'll take a P2 start out. Man, tough night for some others. So I'll. Man, the air just got thick, if I should say that. It's going to be aggressive.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that. It was kind of a little messy tonight, but I think it's when you take it all into consideration, it's kind of understandable. It's a track where a lot of guys have a lot of confidence, and it's round 1 of the playoffs. A lot on the line, and space is there was a lot of net code tonight too, so it was a lot of these incidents were net code. Yeah, there's a lot of net code, so maybe that's something that maybe the guys can maybe watch back this and remember that as the the playoffs go forward here. you know, it was real bad on the right rear with these trucks here tonight. I don't know if it's been like that in these trucks or what, but
and that hadn't seemed like it. But it was every other lap. It seemed like, man, I really thought this would be a little bit better. But
yeah,
I'll take a P2.
Yeah, definitely, and a good way to start the playoffs. And Tyler having issues, and you know, he really, I mean, he could afford it with the lead that he had, but obviously he didn't want to do that. But now it's pulling all you guys up closer. I mean, it's gonna be a good start for you, for Chris and Chris Melton. So good, you know, top 3 for them guys here tonight, and we got Charlotte next week, which I know you're gonna be pretty good at. So. I think you have these playoff tracks, you know, hammered just right.
Just saying, I asked Keith if this was a schedule he would like to run, and he said sure, and I just started licking my chops.
Well, you come away second here.
It's going to be tough, though. These guys are good. They're going to. It's like I said, the intensity level is definitely ramped up with some of the tough finishes that those fast guys have. So it's going to be an intense few races here. It's going to be fun. I really enjoy racing with these guys. So and I know the capability that they have and how good they are. So it's going to be fun.
So, you know, kind of with all these cautions we had here tonight, there was a lot of varying strategies. You know, you obviously got started on pole here tonight, and then we're one of the first ones to come down pit road there, and then kind of just were stuck back there. Was it just the dirty air and you know, trying to avoid some of these accidents? And then, I mean, you find your way up to second at the end, but you know, it kind of took you till the end to get back up there.
Yeah, well, the cautions didn't help. You know, I mean, this is a big momentum track. If you dive it off in there and you get a little bit tight, you got to roll out of the throttle, and that just absolutely obliterates your momentum. So it takes another 2 or 3 laps to get that going, and then by that time we had a caution, and it's just you never really could get a rhythm or, you know, or anything good going. And luckily we wound up where we did. You know, they piled them up there at the end, so we gained a lot of spots there. But hey, you know, you got to be there to finish there. So, you know, we were there.
Yeah, it was one heck of an exciting final lap. You know, I can't wait to just go back and watch it again. So cool. Well, congrats on getting second here tonight, and a good start for the playoffs here. And you know, we'll look forward to Charlotte next week. But before we let you go and celebrate, anybody you give a shout out to? Yeah,
I want to give a shout out to my cover down in Perth, Australia. Big tuning in tonight on the stream. We appreciate it. Got a bunch of followers down in Australia. I don't know why. It's random, but I love talking to those guys.
Oh yeah. Well, congrats, and hey, we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you, fellas. Big shout out to Keith Powell again. KeithSaysYes.com, MVV Travel Co, and everybody that makes all this, all my supporters and subscribers of the stream that make everything happen. I really appreciate you guys.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 78 of Big Duke. Last but not least is going to be the 47 of Chris Gutierrez. Chris, there was certainly plenty of times here tonight that it didn't look like you were going to, you know, factor into the win, as you got involved in some issues. You had to fight your way back a couple times, but at the end, you're where you need to be. You're up front battling, and I mean, walk us through those final couple laps and the move on the front stretch that ended up leading you to that win.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's really weird, but the way the track kind of runs, like, it does run like a super speedway, but it really runs more akin to like in Atlanta, where like you can get a major run and almost do a slider on somebody going in the corner or carry momentum. And yeah, I got to fourth, and I got to sixth, and I said, if I can get to fourth on the first lap, we've got a shot at this. And then I knew they were going to be defending, and so I kind of tried to anticipate the defense, and I think I just got it right really close on the front stretch. I cleared down on Melton and looked in the mirror, and I saw he was there, and I'm like, this is the move. So I put it up in front of him, got the push, and Helzel came up to cover me, and then I just Helzel and Martin came up to cover me, and I just dove under them, which got me close to Helzel. And then going into one, I got past Helzel, and I don't know what happened behind me. Everybody died. But then it was, believe it or not, I thought I was good, and then I look in the mirror and I see Duke, and I'm like, uh-oh, this has super speedway problems written all over it, that I was going to get freight trained. So I just tried to make sure I drove a little erratically on the backstretch so they couldn't get a draft. But yeah, absolutely incredible win. I can't believe it. I was pretty disappointed in my qualifying run. Happy to speak to you guys, but I miscalculated my time I needed to make my second lap, so that didn't start us off well, and then we got a little bit of a problem on the first start. I think the one didn't know I was to his outside, so I was being aggressive, but you kind of have to go anywhere here. It is like super speedway racing, so it's like you have to be controlled aggressive.
Yeah, it looked like you missed that second lap by like a second or two. I seen you coming across the line. All of a sudden, right before you crossed the line, you disappeared. I'm like, oh, I hope that wasn't because of us. But
no, I mean, like I said, I miscalculated it, and I'm happy to talk to you guys. I mean, I'm more than capable of Joe's race with me on iRacing, and if he knows I can talk and drive at the same time, I should have probably got in there sooner. So it's all good.
Well, I mean, essentially, you're welcome. I mean, the 18th is exactly where you needed to start tonight. I mean, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't honestly know. I lost track of the tire strategy because that race was all over the place and didn't really have a rhythm. And I don't know if I had a tire advantage or what. But even on older tires, I could still go. I was like, man, I'm not pitting after this. I think we're good on the tires we're on. So yeah, it was a little bit of a messy race, but those last couple laps were really fun. Glad it was nice and clean. Glad I didn't run into anybody or spin anybody out. Like I said, it's unfortunate what happened to Tyler behind me. That looked not fun in the mirror. So I don't know what touched that off. I'll have to go watch the broadcast, but glad to get it done. And unfortunately, definitely going to have a major points night. It's unfortunate that happened to Tyler and Tuck, but glad to win the race. I like winning races. I mean, championship would be nice, but I wanted to get more than one win this season, so it's good to get another one.
Yeah, I mean, tire-wise, it looks like all you guys were pretty much in there on lap number 26 to get those tires. I think the only other one up there towards the front may have been Villarreal, where he came in the pits on lap number 31 and got those fresh tires. So you knew how to hit those marks on the last few laps, and like you said, you made the right moves at the right time, especially that move on the front stretch to get down to the inside of Helzel, or you may have been caught up in that wreck to begin with. So congrats on the win here tonight, second win on the season, but most importantly, start off the playoffs the exact right way at the front of the boards. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'll give a shout out, like I said, to Dave for putting this league on, Jonathan, Tyler, all of our championship competitors. I think we all race each other with a lot of respect. Didn't have any issues with any of them. I know I kind of may have rubbed Martin going in the corner on the last lap, and I think we're kind of just going for the same place because I wasn't going to the bottom. My whole goal that whole lap was going to be go to the seam, so I don't know if he didn't know that or not, but hopefully no hard feelings there, just hard racing. If he needs to door me in the future, I get it, but no wrecking or anything, just good, clean racing. That was fun, and thank you guys for putting the broadcast on. Want to give a shout out to anybody watching in the North Carolina area. I know we've been trying to do some GoFundMe stuff, and I know I've been putting some of my winnings towards that. So we're definitely thinking about you guys and rebuilding, and hope we put on some entertainment for everybody. I know it's been kind of an interesting couple weeks in the world, but yeah, I love this sport. I love iRacing, and I love putting on a show for you guys. So thanks.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on the win here tonight. We'll see you next week at Charlotte. See if you can go back to back.
We're going to try.
Congrats, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
That is your winner here tonight, the 47 of Chris Gutierrez. Heck of a run here tonight from all these drivers. And yeah, a bit shocking of how many issues there were tonight. You typically don't see that in Michigan because of how wide it is, because of how much room you have. But, Joe, it's playoff racing. The tensions are high.
Yeah, a lot on the line. And so you're telling me, Carl, the truck that was riding the fence is going to come away with the win here tonight?
I mean, he drove
amazing.
over the field, plain and simple. I mean, you thought it was just one truck. No, he drove over the entire field. Forget about it. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He clearly had some, I mean, you talk about tires. Apparently, his monster truck tires on that thing. It worked out exactly the way he needed to be. Oh, man, this was one heck of a start to the playoffs here for the YESCAR Truck Series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, or, I mean, even if you didn't, if you didn't, you're not...
What's wrong with you if you didn't?
You're not in the right place. This is not the right channel for you, but we know if you're here, you liked it, you enjoyed it. Hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Syrian has to offer. We still got 3 more of these insane playoff races to go, starting off next week with Charlotte Motor Speedway. And then we got Indianapolis and the finale at Homestead yet. I mean, if it's anything like tonight's 70 laps at Charlotte is going to be intense for sure. Thank you to all our series sponsors here for the season. Kohr Crabbing Supplies, Keep Digging, MVV Travel Co, Drop Gear Racing, GTR Simulator, Desert Rose Bow Company, Cookies for Kids Cancer, and of course, KeithSaysYes.com. Check them out in Hurricane, West Virginia, or Huntington, West Virginia, or online at KeithSaysYes.com and get you $1,000 off a new or used vehicle purchase by mentioning the league here. I mean, this is. I'm still kind of lost for words and flabbergasted with the finish of this thing, and I feel for Tyler Helsel. I mean, he came in here with a nice cushion to start this thing, but it pretty much evaporated in one race, and he's got plenty of skill that he can just build that right back up in one or two races here and easily have a chance at this playoffs. He's certainly not out of it, and probably isn't even out of the points lead, but. You have to tune in next week to find that out. I'm already. I mean, between CSRL and between here at the YESCAR, I want to know the points right now. This thing needs to be done right away. I'm going to complain about it. I don't care. But this was fun here tonight. Joe, any final thoughts here for Michigan?
Man, just worst case scenario for the Tyler's camp and his crew. Definitely not the result he wanted. Could he afford it? Like I said, yes, but man, you don't want to dig yourself any hole here. But opportunity has opened the door for a lot of these guys. You know, Chris came in here tonight. Obviously, a good track for him, and he took advantage. I thought maybe that move was a little too early, but he timed it perfectly, and was able to avoid that last lap and all that mayhem and. Kind of drove away with it. I'm like you. I'm ready to see what the points are like, and I'm ready to see what's going to happen at Charlotte. Charlotte's another one of them tracks that's going to provide a lot of excitement. So, man, Wednesday nights are fun. Like we talked about, being up here in the broadcast booth, we get to see finishes like that, Carl.
I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like we talk about it season in, season out, that it gets towards the end of the seasons here, and we love all the action that's going on. We love how the points battles are coming down to the end. But we hate that it's coming down to the end because we know it's soon going to be the end of the season. We got to wait until the start of the next one. But, man, this is one heck of a start to the playoffs. Thank you, everyone, again for tuning in. But for myself and Joe from the Michigan International Speedway, we'll see you at the track.